right? That's why it's a yellow button. When you press the yellow button on the calculator, it's saying do all the yellow things, not the button itself. Okay? Now we're going to talk about this in just a second. But Chase had a great question. She said, "Mr. C, is there any way to find a square root other than using a calculator?" There is. Back in the day, right? Back before water and dirt, back when I was a kid, and I had to find square roots. There were two things that we could do. I mean, there were calculators around, but kids didn't have them at school. So we could do something called repeated division. That was a technique to find square roots, and it took forever. It took a long time, and you would never get the actual square root. I mean, if it's something like the square root of 6, if you take the square root of a whole number and you don't get a whole number, that means that it's like pi. It goes on forever and ever, and it never repeats. So repeated division, you could do it several times over and over again to get closer and closer and a more accurate representation or approximation for the square root. But you'd never get there because it's like pi. It goes on forever and ever. It's irrational. Okay? So one way we could do was this technique called repeated division. Or sometimes we could find the number in the back of a book. They would have tables, like the square root of 6.1 is equal to blah, blah, blah. Okay? The square root of 6.2 is equal to blah, blah, blah. So you'd look it up in a table at the back of a book. But fortunately, we have calculators. We can just type it in and it spits it out. All right? Now, that's sort of what we're going to talk about with this example here. Let me ask you this. Vivian, let's look at 94 first, so the square root of 94. Now I'm going to ask you a series of questions, okay? Vivian, what's the perfect square less than 94?
Isn't it 9 times 9 is 81?
81, perfect. 9 times 9, okay? Chloe, what's the perfect square right after 94? 100, okay? Now, Grayson, what is the square root of 81? 9. And Reed, what is the square root of 100? 10. So let me ask you this. To one decimal place, what do you think the square root of 94 is? We're just estimating. Now 94 is definitely closer to 100 than it is to 81. So let that play into your decision, all right? To one decimal place, Emma, what do you think?
9.7.
Emma says 9.7, approximately. She's guessing, all right? Good guess, Emma. What is it actually, using the calculator? Let's round it to one place. Raise your hand when you've got it. Judd, what'd you get?
I got 9.69.
9.69, which rounds to 9.7. Emma, nice job. Well done. Let's do another one. Okay, we're going to do the square root of 28. All right, here's the square root of 28. What's the perfect square, Andrew, that comes right before 28?
24.
Not 24.
No, okay. What the F on it? 25.
25, perfect. What's the perfect square that comes after 28? Riley. Help?
Is it 30?
It's not 30. It's not 30. Chase?
36.
36, right? Because it's 6 times 6. Okay, good. Now, Riley, I'm coming back to you. What's the square root of 25? What number multiplied by itself gives me 25? 5. Good, thank you. All right. What's the square root of 36 then? Judd?
6.
6. All right, who wants to give me a guess on the square root of 28? Square root of 28. Luke? What do you think? About?
5.5.
I think it's closer to 25 than it is 36. What do you think, Connor?
Maybe 5.3.
Okay, 5.3. What is it actually when we round it, Hannah? 5.30. Whoa, what happened?